That is the key question, and it's the question I want to ask both of the Christian faith and of secular belief. What narrative are we being located in? Because you're right, we can't help but be storytellers and story followers, and part of what gives life meaning is a sense that we are part of something that means something, that is going somewhere. There's a narrative that our existence is caught up in and is part of. Everyone believes that to some extent. So, and it strikes me, and if sexuality matters, it must matter to the story that we're located in. Now, if we're people who don't have any belief in God, and we're sort of secular in our mindset, what is the story that our sexuality is part of? The story really is you've got to be sexually fulfilled to be complete. That's it. It's a short story. It doesn't go far beyond me. Other people are involved, but they're involved for the sake of my being fulfilled and my being authentic and self-actualized, or however you want to express it. The biblical narrative, I think, is a far more compelling, far more sweeping narrative. And you're right. In the biblical accounts of things, sex is not merely just a physical act. It's not just the exchange of bodily fluids. It is part of a story, and it's not incidental to the big story of what God is doing in this universe. So the Bible opens with a wedding. It opens with Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. The Bible closes with a wedding, Jesus Christ and his bride, the church. And what we begin to realize is that first wedding is a foretaste, is a signpost, is an anticipation of that final wedding. And so what we then realize is all of the Bible, and by extension all of history, is ultimately about God preparing a bride for Jesus Christ. It's actually about heaven and earth being united. The joining together of the man and woman in marriage in Genesis 2, we begin to see is a picture of how God is going to join together heaven and earth through Jesus Christ. And it's marital. It means the Bible is ultimately a romance. It's a love story. And our own sexuality is an area where that big story has been imprinted on all of us. And that sense of, we feel a need for romantic completion, romantic fulfillment, of being one with somebody else, is precisely because that's what the big story of the universe is about. But we won't ultimately make sense of our sexuality and of those feelings and of God's design for how they're meant to work unless we are understanding them in the light of that bigger narrative.
Wir hoffen, diese Antwort hat dir weitergeholfen. Hinterlass uns doch deine Gedanken dazu in den Kommentaren. Wenn du das vollständige Video ansehen möchtest, findest du den Link in der Beschreibungsbox.
Wenn dir dieses Video gefallen hat, dann like dieses Video doch und abonniere diesen Kanal, damit auch andere diese Inhalte finden können.
Schick uns gerne auch deine persönlichen Fragen per Instagram. Wir freuen uns, mit dir ins Gespräch zu kommen.
Profundum ist Teil von Campus für Christus, ein spendenfinanziertes Projekt, das sich mit dem christlichen Glauben und seiner Tiefe, Höhe und Weite auseinandersetzt. Wenn du Videos wie diese und die Arbeit von Profundum möglich machen möchtest, dann findest du unten in der Beschreibungsbox die Details dazu.
Bis zum nächsten Mal.